Let's go to Edo State and the politics ahead of the governorship election. So, Mr. Osage Ize-Iyamu, the candidate of the All Progressives Congress in Edo State, has described as irresponsible the display of videos involving Governor Umar Ganduje of Kano State, who is the chairman of the Edo State APC Governorship Campaign Organization. The video was displayed on a digital board in Benin City around the Ring Road. In a statement released by John Mayaki, the Director of Communication and Media of Ize-Iyamu Campaign Organization, Ize-Iyamu said it is hypocritical to embark on such an act. That matter has generated controversies. The PDP, on the other hand, is now accusing Mr. Ize-Iyamu of plagiarism of his newly released campaign manifesto. Let's get talking, everyone, shall we? Tonight, we have representatives of the two sides of the divide, the representative and the advisor to Governor Obaseki of Edo State and a member of the candidate of the PDP here in Lagos, Mr. Adaze Emwanta. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
From our Abuja studio is the representative of the APC campaign organization, a lawyer, Mr. Daniel Bwala, who is going to be joining us pretty much. But there is something I'd like to show you quickly before we get into the conversation about Mr. Magu and his journey so far. Just before we get into that conversation, let's take a look at how Mr. Magu has come up until this time. Mr. Magu, of course, a 58-year-old man who joined the Nigerian police force in 1990 and in November 2015 was appointed as EFCC chairman, and in December 2016, the Senate of Nigeria refused to confirm him as EFCC chairman. On the 6th of July, Mr. Magu was arrested by the presidential probe panel, which began its grilling afterwards, and on the 10th of July, the presidency affirms Mr. Magu's suspension as the acting chairman of the EFCC. Some information for you to chew on based on the conversation we just had. So let's get into the Edo politics. Thank you so much, Mr. Emwanta. And now Abuja studio is Mr. Daniel Bwala, who is going to be speaking on behalf of Edo APC campaign organization. Thank you so much, Mr. Bwala, for joining us tonight. So perhaps because the APC is alleging that this is not fair on them. Mr. Bwala, maybe we should begin with you. The purported video that was seen, which of course we understand that is no longer there, but it was seen for a few days in Benin City on Ring Road, and your party has come forward to say that is irresponsible. Shoot first, if we may, and let's get the conversation started.
Right, thank you for having me. It is an act of irresponsibility in the sense that Governor Ganduje is not an indigene of Edo State. He is not on the ballot. He is not running for any post. And so if Governor Obaseki believes he has a vision for the Edo people, his focus will be on issues, the things he wants to do for the people, and why he thinks is better than our candidate, than then to take the name, the picture, or the video of the campaign council chairman for Edo, whom I feel that they are frightened by him because they feel he's a master strategist in terms of mobilizing people and then mobilizing movement for the purposes of winning the election. So I'm happy that they quickly realized it was an act of irresponsibility and they took it off, and we are hoping that in the coming days, they will learn from our candidate how to focus on issues, how to come up with agenda, how to come up with manifesto and talk it to the people of Edo. The people of Edo are widely understood and believed as one of the leading states in terms of education. So you talk to them sensibly and make sure you speak to the things you want to do in Edo. But when you know that you don't have an agenda, when you know that you don't have something to talk about other than signing memorandum of understanding for 4 years, if you sign memorandum of understanding for 4 years, that means if given another 4 years, you are going to use it in interpreting the memorandum, and you will not be able to translate it into the governance that the good people of Edo deserve. That is what I believe that they are quickly learning, which is why they must have taken the billboard off.
What bothers your party, especially the campaign organization, about that video? Does the video deter you in any way? Why does it give you a worry?
No, it has not given nobody worried, but you know, who cares? I mean, who cares? The only reason why they themselves had to take it is because they quickly realized it's an act of irresponsibility. For God's sake, is Governor Ganduje indigene of Edo? Is Governor Ganduje running for office? It is just like APC to then come and then say, because their campaign chair is Governor Wike, then they begin to display and then play some of the tape, audio tape of his conversation during his election. When he was promising money, he was venting heaven and earth if he doesn't win and all that. I mean, he is not candidate in Edo, so nobody has time to then start playing this his tape. We are focusing on Governor Obaseki, the governor who has certificate problem, the governor that the same party he has gone to were the first Nostradamus or Christopher Columbus in discovering his certificate problem. That's what we are focusing. We are speaking to him against what he has done in Edo. Apart from painting stadium, what has he done to the good people of Edo? And so if you look at, for example, Pastor Izeyamo, I have not read anywhere where he got distracted or he tried to throw jibe on things that are not sensible and not direct. He came up with a clear-cut agenda that he simply called it simple agenda that is smart. All right. S for security, I for infrastructural development, M for manpower development, P you have for public-private partnership, L for leadership by example, and then E for employment. And when you come to smart, you see where he defined them.
So, Mr. Bwala, yeah. So let me give, let's one after the other. Let's get the rocks one after the other so that we can have a clarity on the conversation. And I like that in this conversation, let's try as much as possible to run away from mentioning other parties that are not present here. Thank goodness that both of you are lawyers. You've mentioned Governor Wike and allegations of audio tape. We are Channels Television. Those are your words. And we are Channels Television. Those are not related to us in any way. So let me allow Mr. Adazi to respond to some of the things that Mr. Bwala said and the concerns of the APC in this matter. First and foremost, was there any video there put up by the Edo government in Ring Road?
Nothing can be further than the truth. It's very unfortunate that they make such wide allegations. It is not the business of Edo State government to re-echo what is already viral. Of course, what they are saying, I think, may have to do with the video which went viral, I mean, before the 2019 general elections of the governor of Kano stuffing, wads, of dollars in his Babariga.
Purported video.
Purported video. So if it is purported, he's a lawyer just like me. The truth is the veracity of that video. I really don't know who put up that, and I think it is within the right of every Nigerian to, in whatever manner, express themselves. Just the way viral videos have gone on the simple agenda of Pastor Izeyamo. And of course, that video is to the effect that the simple agenda was launched by Dr. Don Pedro in 2015, who was, at that time, a gubernatorial candidate.
Let's clear the issue, because we will come to some of these campaign issues before shortly. So the video on that digital billboard in Ring Road, in Benin City. Ring Road, of course, you are very familiar with Ring Road in Benin City. Is at the center of town. That particular billboard belongs to the government, isn't it?
It's not true, because that billboard is a commercial billboard within the National Museum premises.
Okay, so it's not for the state government?
It is not owned by the Edo State government.
So in that case, the state government is saying that you do not know anything about it?
Of course, just the way, I've not even seen that particular, because I've gone to Ring Road severally, just the way you have heard and just the way they are saying, that was how we heard that there's a video. I mean, there's this billboard that carries a viral video, which is everywhere. It's something that took up a national discourse, if that was right or wrong. And when you look at the Times, the EFCC chairman is undergoing some form of scrutiny, and the major thrust of this government is anti-corruption. So for me, our interest as a party, and as a party presenting a very viable candidate, is that why do you appoint such a person as a campaign chairman? What impression are you creating? It's a political irony.
So if you are fighting corruption, has a problem with...
No, we don't have a problem with him, but it makes our campaign easy. When you put somebody who represents what they call corruption, official corruption, as the chairman of your campaign, it explains the message you are sharing. I will come back to the fraud that was perpetrated in using another man's idea, of course, which is plagiarism.
I will ask you that question shortly. Has the government investigated that scenario?
There should be a report, because there's really nothing to investigate. There should be a report. Has a formal report been made? The answer is no. And is it the duty of the government? It is the duty of the security agencies. If people have issues with that video, they know what to do.
Do you think that this campaign has started on a good footing?
I would say yes, because we have started on a good footing. We had a proper primaries where a candidate emerged. And of course, the APC, we don't know if they have a candidate yet because the matter is in court. They didn't have primaries. So we have other political parties, and we look forward to going into this election, joining issues with candidates that have emerged from validly organized
So that's
primaries.
another issue you have raised now, that the APC does not have a candidate.
Of course, it's been challenged in court.
By who?
Of course, the PDP has gone to court, asking INEC not to recognize the person whose name was submitted because there was no valid primaries according to existing court orders and what the then acting chairman, Gideon, said, that they didn't have primaries and that they were yet
So the
to
PDP
organize
is in
primaries.
court over...
Of course, we're in court over that.
Yamu.
For the court to interpret the constitution, because you cannot talk of a situation where you didn't have primaries, your party said you didn't have primaries through your chairman, and all of a sudden, INEC came up with a short list, including the name of a party that did not present a candidate for primary, presenting a candidate without primaries, and it is clear that it's a condition precedent for a political party to sponsor a candidate that there must be primaries.
All right.
The provisions of the constitution is clear. Section 87 of the Electoral Act talks about primaries, and the word shall was used, mandatory.
Yeah. There's another party, NRM, whom I understand also is suing INEC and the APC as regarding the candidate of the APC. Let me allow Mr. Bwala to react to that. The PDP, according to Mr. Adaze, is saying that your party does not have a candidate just yet because on the issue of the primaries. How do you react to that?
You see, so that singular act of going to court is self-evident that these guys are scared of Pastor Eze-Iyamu to death. They are scared. They can't even wait for the election. These are meddlesome interlopers. If not because the matter is sub judice, I would have taken time tonight to coach them on this journey of no return. But because it is sub judice, I will not comment about it. But you help me ask him, what is the agenda of his candidate? What is his selling point? He doesn't have any agenda. All he is doing is sending people from nook and crannies of the city and around the country to see if they can obstruct somebody who already has started canvassing with the good people of Edo the things he wants to do for the Edo people. For God's sake, Edo State is not like every other state that you can say they are not educated. Talk sense to the people and talk your agenda. So I don't even want to delve more about all these journeys of no return that they began already. It's just like me coming tonight to tell you, Sheun, because as a secretary of the appeals committee, I had the exclusive privilege of looking at documents relating to their candidate. And I know he has a fundamental legal defect, issue of certificate. And in fact, the Nostradamus that discovered that was not even APC. It was PDP when their candidate was in APC. They even went to court. Now, they are carrying somebody with legal disability, but they are already frightened. Now, talk about a candidate who has even run through screening and primaries in 2 political parties at a time, in the face of obvious decision of the Supreme Court that if you go in these 2 directions, you do not have a legal standing. But we don't have time to bother ourselves on that.
Mr. Bwala.
Our candidate believes he will win the election. So why
Mr.
should we be
Bwala.
bothered?
Yeah, so there is something that he wanted to raise, and it's the fact that he believes that your candidate plagiarized the campaign statement that he released. When we come back from the break, we'll look into that. What more can you say? It's getting interesting, the campaign in Edo State, when PDP is alleging plagiarism of the APC manifesto. We'll dig into that after the break, everyone. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's get back to the conversation. Andrew Emwanta Adaze is the special advisor to Governor Obaseki, who is the PDP candidate in the Edo governorship race. And in our Abuja studio is Daniel Bwala. He's a lawyer and a member of the APC, speaking for the Edo APC campaign organization. Thank you so much, gentlemen. So let me allow you to quickly react to what he said. It was Governor Ganduje that had the first shot. Governor Wike of Rivers State replied, and since that had happened, a lot of things have started happening. But react to some of the things that he has said tonight, that your party is a meddlesome interloper.
You know, it's quite unfortunate that my learned colleague here, Bwala, who is a lawyer, who ought to know, because in the case of Bayelsa, PDP actually went to court challenging the qualification of the deputy governor. Because, of course, the party sponsored him, and eventually that was why the party lost Bayelsa to PDP. So, unfortunately, he may not know the position of the law, because when you ask the court to interpret, you have the right to ask the court to interpret the provisions of the Constitution. So it is not a question of the internal affairs here or their guidelines, but we're talking of clear provisions, specific provisions of the Constitution, Section 177, you know, the provisions of Section 211, the provisions of Section 87 of the Electoral Act that talks about the mandatoriness of primaries. So if you don't have something that you are building on, just as Lord Denning said in USA and Mark IV, you cannot put something upon nothing and expect it to stay there. Primaries is compulsory. It is not an internal affairs. It is a requirement of the Electoral Act. And what is even more,
party affair.
it is not.
It's not about.
It's a mandatory provision of the law.
I understand. So I'm asking.
It's like bringing a goat to contest because it's the party that is sponsoring the goat. It must be a human being. Okay. It must be a Nigerian. It must meet the provisions of Section 177 that gives the criteria. Section 201 that gives the criteria, Section 87 that gives the criteria. Right. So it is not an APC affair. He does not have the facts, just the way he does not have the facts of what happens in Edo. We are the players in Edo. It's like someone who says he's a Manchester fan watching a live match from Old Trafford Bar in Bwala, and that is the role he has now, because I'm a player.
All right. So you're talking about the simple agenda of the candidate of the APC, Pastor Eze Yamu. That's what you wanted to talk about. Of course,
plagiarism, because in 2015, Don Pedro, who was the very first person that indicated interest to run for governor, went to London. He launched his simple agenda. Ben TV carried it, and that video has gone viral. Every word in that agenda was copied by Eze Yamu in 2016, without any form of reference to its source. Letter for letter, word for word. It shows that he's bereft of ideas.
Do you have a copy of
that clear
manifesto here?
Of course, simple agenda is everywhere. Just the way they talk of billboards is on all their billboards scattered around Benin. Word for word. It was Don Pedro's idea. That is political.
Don Pedro is an ally of Governor Obaseki.
At the time, they were together.
No, I'm talking now.
Presently.
Don Pedro is an ally of Governor Obaseki.
Presently.
And did he give that manifesto to Pastor Eze Yamu?
You know, when you thief something, right? When you steal something, the owner will cry out. And Don Pedro is currently crying out that this is my idea. This man does not have any manifesto. It is my idea. So what you have now is that Eze Yamu is presenting a tabula rasa to Edo people, because you cannot claim Mercedes if you are not the manufacturer. It is a family. So simple idea belongs to the Obaseki family, Don Pedro, which Eze Yamu is now trying to ride on. He has no idea that is different from what he could not provide for the 8 years he said Donald Okigbenedion. So if you talk of a simple idea, how come we didn't have simple idea for those 8 years?
All right. Let's allow Mr. Bwala to respond to, so you've talked about the agenda and the simple idea or manifesto of your candidate, but you heard the allegation that it was plagiarized.
Well, Sean, I just hope you will give me enough time that you gave him to be able to respond to many issues he has raised. Let me start, first of all, with that issue that he talked about, those sections. Save the section. After election, you can cite the section. Don't distract the Edo people from the election that is coming. And there is no time for us here for me to demolish this is argument that has no legal standing. But let us now talk about the issue of the plagiarism he's talking about. You see, I have a law firm, and I have staff that work for me. Now, if I give instruction that I'm writing an article in this day newspaper, and I give them a topic to work on it, and when they finish, I have it published, it is my intellectual property, because they are under my employ. They submit their right to my right, and I instruct them, I give them skeleton. And you heard him saying that at that time, Don Pedro was with Pastor Eze Yamu. Now, I am not even agreeing or conceding, but I'm just giving you example, even on the evidence of what he is saying. Does he know that for you to be able to raise the issue of plagiarism, that article or that book or manifesto must be protected? Is that manifesto is talking about registered? Does it have ISS number or ISBN number? That is number one. Number two, as regarding the thoughts that are there, if when he was with Eze Yamu, he came up with this thought that this, my learned friend, he said Eze Yamu copied. If his candidate that they are selling now cannot even see and act first on what they claim was the original thought of Don Pedro, that means their candidate is blinded. That means the more he look, the less he see. And that means there is no way they can have idea to bring up agenda that they will sell to the good people of Edo, other than to look for a destructive strategy to talk about mundane things and things that have no bearing. And so that is what I'm saying in a nutshell regarding the material. You have to establish that the right is protected. That thought must have been registered. If it is not registered, it is just like me here. When I say something and somebody quotes it, then I will now say it is plagiarized, or maybe I write something and the person quotes it, it is not registered. So that is first point number 2. But Sheun, what I thought we were going to be doing tonight is to discuss issues. What is his candidate going to do to Edo? What has he done to the Edo people? He has signed, so for 4 years he was signing memorandum of understanding with no translation to the good governors. In fact, they will organize a program and recruit ushers. And after the program, they will register the number of ushers as employment in that state. Is that what you call good governance? And secondly, if you think you have done good to the Edo people, this is about the time for you to raise issues and discuss them, and not to be traveling and scouting for what does not even exist in the eyes of the law.
Mr. Emwanta, please, could you reply to him?
You know, it's unfortunate when you hear a lawyer speak like this. He talks about registration. When somebody goes before the court of public opinion with a fake idea, do you need to register that? It is registered in the minds of the people. You don't deceive people like that. Let me really come to the issues now, the specific issues. Edo people are the people involved, not people from where Daniel Bwala comes from. The people are quite impressed. The teachers are very impressed, and that was why last year they gave the governor a national award. The NUT has transformed the educational sector from primary to tertiary. You talk of industry. You now talk of the Edo Production Center, where they have 24 power supply. You talk of infrastructural development. Around Izeyamu's house, for 8 years he was in government, he could not do the roads there. The governor has done virtually all the roads within his vicinity up to Sapler Road. We are talking of areas that stretch kilometers, not minding that he was his opponent. You talk of the health sector, you see our response to COVID-19. Edo State, as a state, is one of the many states that you now find on the world map. Why? Tanzania came to copy from our own Edo Best project in terms of trying to transform basic education. Benin Technical College is now a government science and technical college, where when you enter that school, it will be as if you are abroad. Our civil service is so revolutionized to a point where the offices look like banks. The training of these people, even when you talk of welfare.
When he said MOU, that your governor always signs MOU.
I will address
quickly.
It's a misconception, because you talk of our state power plant at Ososiomo, which is meant to supply public buildings with electricity, 24 hours power, the various street lights. It is a reality today. You talk of the agricultural sector. Jobs have been created, thousands of jobs have been created. It is a reality. The educational sector, it is a reality. So when he talks of MOU, he's just a dog in a manger. He's not from Edo. We are the ones that are beneficiaries of this. And that's why Edo people have said they want the governor back.
Let's close the program, and I've been told that we just have 60 seconds. And let's share it. So it's going to be 30 seconds for each. And let me allow Mr. Bwala to shoot first. Your final word on the program in 30 seconds, please.
Well, I'm happy I'm able to coach him back to issues, to discuss issues. And I'm glad that as a good student, he's learning. Now, all of the items he has itemized, when he talks about Bwala, is not from Edo, therefore Bwala will not know what is happening, or Bwala is watching Manchester United from television, and somebody is in Gwagwalada. Indeed, in these days of technology, you are talking about distance by kilometer, that if I am in Abuja or if I'm from Borno State, I will not know what is happening. Sheun, I ask that you tell him from tomorrow, let them begin to display in television those things that he is saying tonight that they brought as the development. How can a governor revamp education and college when he cannot even produce a certificate with a letter heading of the college he claimed to have graduated from, when there are inconsistent in terms of the date and when he graduated and when he went to the university? How can you transform that?
Your 30 seconds,
something better than that.
Your 30 seconds is over, Mr. Bwala. Your 30 seconds starts now.
It's very easy for me to present a candidate who Edo people have embraced because he is not one of those that has a social contract. I have a social contract with him, and you have over 4 million Edo people. They have a candidate who plagiarized an agenda which is not his, which is serious fraud, and he sings, and his aspiration sings faster than the Titanic song of 1912. And in 1912, that was an incident. 2012, he was the DG of Oshomole's campaign, and that's what Isiamu does. A political jobber. He wants to make money, and that is why he's running for governor. He wants to make money.
Thank you so much,
Elections has come, he wants to make money.
Interesting. Both of you are lawyers, one way or the other. One is tutoring the other, and the other is also saying he's tutoring the other. But it's an interesting conversation that going forward. Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel Bwala and Mr. Adazi Emwanta. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye for now.